What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the PS5 career mode. This is episode number 18. And we start today's episode off with a brief look at the league table. As you can see, 17 games in, we currently sit in 16th place, 4 points clear of Watford and West Brom right now sat in the relegation zone, and also clear of West Ham, who right now sit bottom of the table. Taking on the Baggies for the first of 3 relegation 6-pointers in today's episode here, as we face the Boing Baggies. Of course, real briefly, so what would you guys think about the Slaven Bilic sacking? I must admit, I was surprised by it, and I thought it was a little bit harsh as well. One of those sort of decisions where I can kind of sit on the fence though, because I can see it from both sides really. It has been a tough start to the season, you know, being in the relegation zone right now at the point I'm recording this commentary, and as we know, Sam Allardyce has that extraordinary record of being a manager that just continues to keep teams up in the Premier League. So I can see why West Brom did it, even though I thought it was quite harsh as well. Sort of, I can see it from both sides really. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Right now though, in this game, the Baggies are currently sitting in the relegation zone. Bilic is still in charge and taking them on here at the Prince Foundation Stadium on the back of 3 straight games without a defeat. This was a massive one here in West London, and it was a super game as well, because both teams really went all out in search to win. You know, these games at the bottom of the table where both teams can be too afraid of dropping points and losing a game to a relegation rivals. They both play quite defensively. There aren't that many chances. This was not one of those games. There were numerous chances. We had to post twice in the game. Both goalkeepers made some really good saves as well, and in the end the game did finish as a goalless draw. But I've got to say, one of the funniest games of the season, one of the funniest goalless draws I've ever had playing FIFA. It was a really good game. There was so much at stake, even so early on in the season, for both teams, and in the end both teams do settle for a point in a goalless draw. A game for the goalkeepers. We had to woodwork twice in the game as well. Would have been a massive win, but sadly it wasn't to be. But I'll take the clean sheet and I'll take the point as well. And so for our second game of today's episode here, taking on Watford away at Vicarage Road, of course, the side to finish runners-up in the Championship last season here, away in Hertfordshire. Right now still above the relegation zone, but again, 3 of our final 4 games in December against teams in the top 6. 3 big relegation 6-pointers today. I felt like we need to win at least one of them, and 11 minutes into the game we would take the lead away from home against the Hornets as well. Ball storming down the left-hand side, rolls it across the 6-yard area, and who's there to finish from close range? Viktor Kovalenko. The Ukrainian this season has been really good since coming in on a free transfer. I love the camera angle there, seeing the away fans celebrate in the away end, and a few minutes later we stayed in attack mode, looking for a second goal. Ozcan rolls through Ball once again, causing damage down left-hand side into Charlie Kelman. Great chance to make it 2. We should have done so. Super stop and cleared away. So still leading by 1, but in the first half an hour, it was all QPR. Against West Brom, we were really brave, just couldn't find the back of the net. But in this game, I continued to keep that attack-minded philosophy, keep on looking for goals, and what a wonderful little build-up. Just moments after Kelman was denied his first goal for the season, he gets one courtesy of yet another Charles Bull assist, and the American is off the mark in the Premier League and finally gets his first goal in the top tier. But watch this movement here on the replay. This is absolutely brilliant. And I've talked about Charlie Ball before as being that kind of attack-minded, direct type of player. You saw that right there on the replay. I've mentioned this many times before. There are certain young players in world football that have a really direct approach, and Bull has that. He looks so assertive when coming forward and charging forward like a Bull does, and he was just at the heart of everything in this first half, man. He's been superb this season, our top assist maker in the season, and one of the top assist makers in the Premier League as well, and everything was going through Charles in this game. We were led by 2 at the break, but easily could have been 3 or 4 goals up. The Hornets had been absolutely stung themselves, and in the second half, looking for a 3rd goal. Well, Bull could have had a hat-trick of assists in the first half, but in the second half, 19 minutes after the restart, he mocks the Matador. I love that celebration, man. I might have it made that his trademark celebration. It's really cool. Mocks the Matador as he makes it 3-0 and gets his first goal in a Premier League match. I've got to say, he's been impressive this season, no doubt about it, but this was the game where he really announced himself as one of Europe's rising stars. What a performance from the kid as we go 3-0 up here at Vicarage Road. The game was done for a while, to be fair. Watford were absolutely shell-shocked on whilst they would grab themselves a consolation goal with 5 minutes to go. Lovely hold-up play by Sarr, and Schuster turns in from close range. We might have lost our clean sheet towards the end, but we don't lose the 3 points. Final score, Watford 1, QPR 3. A massive victory in a relegation 6-pointer in Hertfordshire, where the Bull was just on absolute flames. 2 assists and a goal for our teenage wonder kid. He really was unstoppable in this game. 3-1 the final score, and again a huge victory that does propel us even further away from the relegation zone in a really nice streak for QPR. No defeats in our last 5 games and 2 wins as well. Really impressive run for us considering how tough we've had to start of the season. This has been a really good turnaround for us in terms of form. And as you can see the league table here, as we're now officially at the halfway point in the season, Manchester United lead the way. They finally have been beaten but are still 4 points clear of Man City. Liverpool and Chelsea are up at the top 4. Spurs are in 5th, Arsenal is 6th, Burnley have dropped to 7th after their red hot start to the campaign, and at the other end of the table as well, West Brom, Watford and West Ham occupy the relegation spots right now. We are currently 6 points clear of the Baggies in 18th place, as we're up to 13th now with 20 points on the board after no defeats in our last 5 games. Yeah, our best run of form to start the season off, well, I say start the season, we're halfway through now. Our best run of form in the season so far. No defeats in our last 5 games, but only 2 wins as well. So whilst we have now jumped up to 13th place, it is worth mentioning we're only 6 points off the drop zone. Like, there is still half the season left to go. Don't think we're safe with 19 games remaining. Absolutely not. But either way, it's still been a better start to the season than we began with. We've really turned it around, especially in recent weeks. Still, for our 3rd game of today's episode here, it was time for the Boxing Day fixture as we will take on Chelsea in the West London derby here away at Stamford Bridge. The champions, of course, facing Frank Lampard's side away from home. They started off with an early goal. Timo Werner right now leading the way in the race for the Golden Boot, making it 1-0, and Kelly made a great save soon after to keep it at just 1-0. I did field a completely weakened side for the game though, because days afterwards, just a couple of days after, we had Bournemouth at home, and I saw that one was a much more winnable fixture in a big relegation 6-pointer. So I wouldn't say I necessarily waved a white flag in this game. We had some chances, a great one for Jack Byrne right before the break to make it 1-1, firing just wide, but we knew we'd probably lose this game. Chelsea, of course, the champions, aiming to stay in the top 4 for the end of the season to get Champions League football back at Stamford Bridge next season. Timo Werner leading the way in the race to Golden Boot. This was always going to be a defeat, so it was a chance for fringe players to impress, and to be fair, we were 2-0 down, but weren't playing too badly. 7 minutes to go, still trailing by 2. I still felt as though we could possibly get ourselves at least a goal and a consolation to take back to the Kai Prince Foundation Stadium, and as Nico Hermalen was sent down left-hand side, he rolls it across, and Jack Byrne makes it 2-1 with a few minutes to go. So whilst it was just a consolation goal in the end, another one of those games where we take on a big team, but we don't play especially badly. You know, our results against the big teams this season haven't exactly been enviable. We've only picked up 1 point against all the big boys this season. That was against Arsenal on the opening day. But there have been some games like this one, and I think back to the game against Manchester United as well. We haven't played especially badly despite making loads of changes and only lost by a single goal. So 2 on the final score, positives, that's for sure. Of course, though, we need points rather than positives. But either way, it is worth pointing out it's not as damaging as it possibly could have been for morale or goal difference either. Still, following defeat, our first in 6 games, we did see that 2 of our youth players were unsettled and wanted to make the jump to our first team. I gave a pro deal to the goalkeeper Ewan Weston, but decided to release Lewis Allen in our academy at just 56 overall. Those sort of things really frustrate me. You know, the emails where the board will come to you and say, oh yeah, you know, one of our youngsters wants to terminate their contract, unless they're like a super good player, or we have a lack of depth in that position. Like for the goalkeeper position, that's why I gave Weston a pro deal. I'm pretty much always going to release them. I can't stand having my hand forced, man. Look, you'll get a pro deal in time. I'm just not going to say when it's going to be. That always frustrates me. And I wish you could talk to your youngsters and make them understand that, you know, in football, you got to be patient, especially as a youngster, before you get your chance. Anyway, still for the 4th and final game of today's episode, once again, another relegation 6-pointer here, our 3rd in 4 games, as we would take on the Cherries at the Kai Prince Foundation Stadium on the back of the defeat to Chelsea, where Bull was back in the starting 11 and back on the score sheet. What a solo goal by Charles as well, storming down left hand side, couple of nice little skill moves, ball roll to beat the last man, and a finish as well. 2 goals in 2 games for the young wonder kid, who once again was really asserting himself. Again, he's been good to start the season off. He has more assists than anyone else in this team, but in these last 2 games he was just an absolute step up. Almost got an assist there, Kovalenko denied, as it was still 1-0, and 30 minutes after the restart, a great chance for Maximo Romero to level things up for the Cherries, firing that shot just wide. Still 1-0, and the final chance falling inside the final few seconds of the game, hanging on to what would be a massive 3 points here at the Kai Prince Foundation Stadium, and our 2nd win in 3. Jefferson Lerma denied by, once again, Liam Kelly, making a really good save. He has been big in recent weeks. Final score, QPR 1, Bournemouth 0. We complete the double over the Championship champions last season. We beat them away from home and beat them here at home as well in a 1-0 victory. Buzzing with that. 2 wins in our last 3 games. Just 1 defeat in our last, I think, 7 games now as well. The best run of form all season long for QPR. It's no surprise I can't stop grinning in my post-match interviews. This is the best form we've been in all throughout the course of the season so far. A look at the league table then as we close out the calendar year of 2021. Manchester United still top of the table, Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea wrapping up the top 4 right now. We remain in 13th place with 23 points on the board, and we are now 9 clear of West Ham and West Brom in 18th and 19th respectively. Long way to go though, 17 games still remaining, and believe me, we are not counting our chickens just yet. Timo Werner still leading the race in the way for the race for the golden boot right now as well. As the top assist charts, Martinelli leads the way, but Charles Bull is only behind him by 1. The kid's had a great debut season in the Premier League so far, and as for clean sheets as well, Kepa and Edison have the most combined with 9 each. Liam Kelly's not doing too badly with 6 clean sheets in his debut season in the Premier League as well. But that was this episode of the PS5 Career Mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the PS5 Career Mode, where the January transfer window will open, and it's our first FA Cup game of the season as well in the 3rd round very soon.